We're gonna do a song that you never heard before. The volume.
Here they come, I get wicked. Here we go again.
Ace Kennedy, my brother from another mother.
Boy, you got that mic hot. Let me turn you down in my. There you go. That's all right. I'm gonna turn you down on my end.
Listen, I was about to say I ain't changed nothing now.
You did change something because you ain't have it that close last week. I don't know what you talking about. We got the video to prove it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. New mic situation, though, man. So maybe that's what it is, though. So
Nah,
hey, we
it's all
getting there.
good.
We getting there.
Nah, no worries. Like I said, I can control you on my end, brother.
All right. We straight though. We straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Hey, what's good with you though, man?
Listen, excited, nervous, all the above.
What's good with you?
Bro, game 5, what you talking about?
Yeah. I know that. I thought you may have had something else going on though.
Nah. Charlie got her talent show today, so I'm crunk about that.
Yeah.
I had no hand in nothing of this, except for I did get to do a little, just a little bit of editing last night because the main girl who was supposed to be in their group, she got sick, so she wasn't gonna be able to be at the thing.
Right.
So I asked Charlie. I said, "Yo, who's bringing the music?" She was like, "Well, I got it on my phone." I said, "Baby, it don't work like that. Like, it's got to be played in the auditorium. You need the music." So she was like, "Well, my teacher had to get it." I said, "Baby, it don't work." I said, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it."
You
So
got it. Huh?
I pulled it, and then there was a part in the song where they was talking about drinking some moonshine. So I had to throw the reverse on that. So I said, "Yeah, let me go ahead and edit a little bit. You gonna have these parents looking at me crazy."
Yeah, man. Hey, you know what's crazy? Someone looking crazy. This is one thing I wanted to see. I don't know if you heard this, right? You know, I think that the theme this year has been F around and find out, right?
Yeah.
So yesterday in DeKalb County, now DeKalb County is probably 95% African American, right?
Okay.
They had two white guys walking around the park out here with the KKK robes on, fully dressed, and got laid down out there that park. Like, hey, we out here. Y'all was playing around. You play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. They were found it, and I don't even know if they found out who did it or whatnot, though, man. I saw that and I was just like, wow, bro.
It's the wild, wild west out here, and our boy ain't helping the situation.
No, not at all.
Nah.
So listen, you said that, but so this is the one thing I think that was interesting in light of that, right? Because on the same day, I saw that this y'all boy done he had basically suspended like immigration. Everything was up for review. And then had like 90 white South Africans that they just fast tracked, put them on the little chartered jet, said, now y'all come on over here, right? And then people were just like, listen, man, didn't you just say, you know what I'm saying, that y'all holding everything? And how does this apply now? We back open, you know what I'm saying? This immigration back open and everything like that. And he was like, no, these people are basically getting killed for their land. This is like genocide and everything. And then the reporter was like, well, wait a minute, because this same thing was happening over in South Sudan. And you didn't lift the South Sudanese people to come on over here. So now that you're setting this precedent, is this a thing, though, man? He was like, he talked this way on about it, though, bro. But everybody said there is one thing, two things that these people got in common. One, they were white. Two, they're from South Africa. And Elon Musk is from South Africa, right? So I was very blown away because he came out and said the government over there is allowing or is taking their land and killing these people. South African officials said, nah, that's not true, man. This man got get him out of bed. Get him out of my face. Get him out of my face. But listen, though, bro. Consistent.
Yep, it's consistent along with getting presidential jet gifts.
Listen, Hold on. See, hold on. What are we doing about that, bro? What are
Man,
we doing about that?
let's talk about it after the music, bro.
Let's get it going, man.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
If you
of all
smell what the rock. It doesn't matter what your name is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time.
Hey, listen, if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to the Slash Brothers YouTube and Facebook page and our TikTok page. We're live on both platforms at the same time. You click on the notification, you click on the bell, you get the heads up whenever your boys is doing their thing. Ace Kennedy. And so your boy is out here, got him get the soon to be replacement for Air Force One, right? And he is getting it donated to him, gifted to him from the Saudi Arabian prince, right? So my thing is this, and we've heard lately, especially with this administration, been shying more away from political conversations than we have in the past.
Yeah. I still want to stay in that lane. I'm gonna make a quick comment. and
Okay.
then I'm moving on. Constitutionally, president is not allowed to accept gifts. Congress, like all the members, aren't allowed to accept gifts. Mayor Adams was just in trouble because of gifts. The Turkish government upgrading the seats or whatever the case may be, allegedly or whatever. But
Right.
you can't spin it. You can't spin it. And if the other administration was doing it, what would they be saying?
Like, listen, beyond all of that, let's just not even talk about what the other I'm just going to say Barack Obama, right? Let's just forget Joe Biden, right? If Barack Obama did this, right? Because, and I say Barack Obama because to his support, for his people, he is the equivalent of how I see Barack Obama, right? If Barack Obama did this, though, bro, they would be crucifying him in the news, especially Fox News. But I think that the part that's interesting to me the most about it, and I'll tell you this from my perspective, is that they're saying this is going to be a replacement for Air Force One. And it sounds like, if I'm reading this correctly, that after his term, then the plane is going to be gifted to his nonprofit organization, whatever, for his use. So it doesn't sound like this is a gift to the presidential seat, the office. This is a gift directly to him, right? And that's the part that I think that makes it more of the conflict of interest to me. It's like, if you just said, no, we're going to, as a gift, we're going to invest. They already said they're trying to invest, billions, trillions of dollars into the United States and everything. But if you also say, well, in addition to it, as a show of faith, as far as the presidential office, the Oval Office, we're gonna go ahead and give you this as a gift, a show of faith, a good gesture, right? But the fact that they said, but you know what, it's after his term, he could do whatever he wanted to do. I'm like, bro, get out my face. Y'all playing in my face, bro. And that's the problem that I have, though, bro. And the part that really pisses me off about it is how people will just blindly be nice. Like, I'm not going to say they're blindly, because you got to know it. People of his base will gladly ignore their normal sound judgment because they would never let Barack Obama slide with this, right? But for him, I'll justify it. I'll ignore my normal good sense if you have that. Dad, get out my face and stop playing in my face with this, though, man.
You're absolutely right, bro. Absolutely right. But yeah, that's my 2 cents. That's all I have to say.
I would go in on that one though, bro. But I'm gonna hold off.
I would too, but you understand. So
Yeah.
what else we got?
We
Bro?
got a long list. We got a long
list.
list.
Let's
We got a long list.
let's wait on the hot topic for just a little bit. Let's jump into a little NBA stuff, and then we can spend some time on the hot topic.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. So tonight, Oklahoma City Thunder, Denver Nuggets, Game 5, pivotal game. It was a rough game on Mother's Day, but we tied it up. We did exactly what we needed to do, and now we're in a situation where primarily most times whoever wins Games 5 will take the series. Oklahoma's in a great position because we have home court advantage. So if we just take care of home, that's the worst case scenario for us. We're guaranteed 2 games out of this, but if we can just take care of home, we'll be fine. Now, that's that series. Everywhere else, chaos. Boston and New York. Unfortunately, Tatum went down. People are patiently waiting to find out the outcome of his injury, just based upon
just earlier. No, just early. It was Achilles.
Okay.
He had surgery on it today, I believe.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. From experience, because I've torn 2 of them, I immediately said Achilles when I saw it. Because there was nobody near him. His leg stretched and he was crying. I knew that was Achilles. So I ain't need no MRI.
From first, they ain't have to tell you. You knew exactly what it was, huh?
I would have been like this. That's his Achilles.
So that's
Achilles.
So listen. So you are the podcast foremost expert in Achilles because you didn't tore both of yours.
Both of them. I didn't tore both of them.
Both of them. BOFUM.
Both of them.
Both of them.
And look, and it went further than that because my son tore one of his too. So the lineage keeps going. We some Achilles tearing people over here.
That's the crazy thing too, is that I think that doctors have never been able to figure out why Achilles tear. They just
and
that's
they
crazy.
pop too. It's a loud pop. It's a bang. It literally sounds like them brown paper bags we used to have, and somebody blowing them up and then popping them. That's what it sounds like for real.
Damn.
And my thing was when it happened to me, nobody was around me. I thought somebody had kicked me in the back of the leg. I was like, how childish. Nah, I was by myself, laid on the ground. Everybody else was off somewhere else.
Same thing happened to one of the guys when I was playing in our league, bro. He ended up he was in the middle of the court in the middle of the court by himself. He was getting back on defense and he was just slowly trotting backwards. And I remember you telling me that. And I saw him fall down when nobody was around him. And I didn't see him like trip or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I said, oh man, I knew right away that it was Achilles though, bro. Let me ask you this though, man. What hopes do you have for Boston for the rest of the series? Then they're down 3-1. Is it dead? They done?
They're not done. The reason why I say they're not done is because Jaylen Brown can do stuff by himself. He can win a couple of games by himself. Now, in this playoff environment, I don't know. I clearly think the season is over, but I could give him a game. What you got?
I think this is the crazy thing. I think if they're going to win a game, it's going to be the very next game, right? They would have to jump on at this very next game, and that would have to be it.
But they don't.
But I think that. Yeah, but even still, right? That's true. But I mean, like this, even if they had won that game, right, without him, I think that this next one would have been the one, though. So I like I said, I think that, yeah. When I think about it now, they done. It's like if you lose it, I don't.
If you can't beat them with both stars, what you gonna do with not having a star?
Yeah, they done. And listen, I think that, but they're built. Like this is my thing about it. I think that they're built to continue to win games, right, in the regular season without one of them. But I think that in the playoffs, when you need both of your guys to be who they are to you, I think that I think that they done, bro.
Yeah, I mean, we look at Cleveland, how much they were affected by not having all of their stars, which is another
Yes.
series that's 3-1.
Cleveland is done too, though, bro. They cook. They
Yeah,
cook. They overcook.
hell of a season, but yeah, Indiana
And
got
it's unfortunate. It's to me, I think that it's very unfortunate, man, when you see the superstars go down this late because a couple of different reasons. Because now, it's like, all right, well, they won't get the whole off season. They're gonna be rehabbing, so they won't get a chance to be training. That means they won't be back. I always say a year, right? So even if Jason Tatum came back after the All-Star break, right? It's just like, all right, he's still, I don't know that his condition is going to be up there though, man. So I always say that those full year, you come back after a year and a half, then you're straight. But I think that the part that's the most interesting to me though, it kind of reminded me of that year. It was a very weird year in the NFL when like Tom Brady got hurt, Peyton Manning got hurt, like all of the superstar quarterbacks, like maybe three of the top like seven quarterbacks got hurt. And this kind of reminds me of that kind of year. But I think that one of the things that's also interesting is that it is an opportunity for the Knicks, right? Because if he's down, it's like I don't think that, they were winning without him, but nobody was picking the Knicks to win yesterday's game, though, right? And so I think that it gives opportunity for the Pacers, who are not a young upstart team, but I think that they're a small market team. They're very well put together. And under normal circumstances, if they had to go through the Pacers, I would think, the Celtics, I would think that they were going to lose that though. But I think that now, when you say the Pacers, even if the Celtics do win, and let's say if they close out the Knicks for some reason, I think the Pacers are probably looking back like, I think we can beat them, and I think that they're looking back at the Knicks like, yeah, we can beat them too, though, man. So,
who do you
I
have
can't lie.
if it ends up Indiana and New York? Who do you got going to the finals?
Like, I don't want to hear these New Yorkers' mouth, though, bro. I don't want to hear these New Yorkers' mouth. I'm gonna say the Pacers, bro. And listen, I'm only gonna say the Pacers because of this. I'm gonna say the Pacers because if OKC get there, I think that we can clean them up pretty good. I think that they get there, OKC in 6.
You don't think Oklahoma can clean up the Knicks?
No, I think that Oklahoma will clean up the Pacers. Yes,
I know,
I
but you
think
said it
that
like you wanted to play the Pacers so that
no. But I think the point is, I think that OKC in 5 against the Pacers. I take that back. OKC in 6 versus the Knicks. It would be maybe even 7. I think that it would go the full. And I only say that because I have to give some respect to how Jalen Brunson is playing, though, bro. Like, I think that he is on one of them runs where I gotta respect it. He's to me playing the equal of Shea, right? And so then it's like, it's like if Shea's gonna be the consistent, right? Then what is everybody else is gonna do? I personally think that the Knicks roster is built to be competitive. Not that they did it intentionally, but their roster is as competitive as OKC for the top 8 guys that they play anyway, though.
yeah. I'm gonna be honest. Brunson's probably playing a little better than Shea in the playoffs.
Yeah. Bronson is doing his thing. But I mean, you think about it, when you got Bridges out there, man, you got Cat out there, you got Hart out there. And even if you
OG.
stop right there, who you mentioned?
OG and Anobli.
Even if I forget about OG. So just on the 5 alone, their 5 is tough. I think that where Oklahoma gets everybody is when you start subbing, and it ain't no fall off after you start subbing, and that's the secret weapon. So it's like, so I think that Shea and Brunson will kind of equal each other out, though, right? And then it's just a matter of who else. You've seen Cat have some moments in series throughout his career. You've seen all of the Knicks do that. I think that what I would love nothing more than to see OKC guys have those moments, right? Like we're here now. These are our moments. These are our big games. These are like, I would love nothing more than to see that for OKC though, bro. So, but if OKC, if hypothetically though, right? If OKC doesn't get past the Wolves, right? I think that the Timberwolves versus the Knicks would probably be the most entertaining series, right? Because you put Anthony Edwards on that platform of it being New York and the Mecca and all that. Um, and I always put that in air quotes too, by the way, because I think that calling Madison Square the Mecca is like totally overrated. Um, but it would make for good ratings and good TV though, bro.
So you got Golden State out of it.
Like, listen, bro, I got Golden State out of it. After I saw them play last night, I said no, they done. And let me tell you, more than anything, I got one of my partners, Rashad, who jumps on from time to time. He'll look at the comments and always look at the replays. And he's the biggest Jimmy Butler fan I've ever seen. The biggest Jimmy Butler fan. And I'm talking about he looks at Jimmy Butler the way I've never seen anybody else look at Jimmy Butler. And so when I saw how Jimmy Butler played out there this last series, I mean, not this series, this last game, I thought that Jimmy Butler just tapped out. He didn't try, and I didn't like it at all, though, bro. He took so like if you're going out, you go out banging, right? And so that this was my concern with them trading for Jimmy Butler, and I think I may have talked about this on some when the trade happened. It's like, okay, yeah, Jimmy Butler is nice, but people are still thinking this is Jimmy Butler from a few years ago, the bubble Jimmy Butler. He ain't been that. And then even the Jimmy Butler from the Celtics run, it's like not even this. It's just he just it's not. And I don't I don't like I don't like how he no showed for them. Like he didn't go out with no Steph. He just didn't have the urgency, bro. And we talked about that with the when we talked about the Clippers, how they didn't have no sense of urgency in game 7 they got blown out. I thought Jimmy Butler didn't have the kind of urgency that I would have expected, seeing that he is now number one, no Steph, right? So I don't know, bro.
Um, so you said okay, you said you got Golden State out, you got Boston out, you got the Cavaliers out. Who do you have tonight for Oklahoma and Denver?
We go OKC, bro.
All right, that works.
We gotta win. We gotta start. It gotta be today. It gotta be today.
Has to be today. It has to be. There's no ifs, ands,
Yes.
and buts about it.
Has to be today. I think that we get it done. And yeah. One of these games. So this is what I think about it. One way or the other. I don't think that this is gonna see. My gut tells me, bro, that one of these games, whether it might be today, that it's going to be like a 15, 20 point win. If OKC loses, it's going to be that they lost by 20. If they win, I think it's going to be 20. I think it's going to be totally one-sided today, though, bro. But I think it's interesting though, man. I think that today is probably going to be one of the better games in the series, though, bro. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just hoping it's our favor though. But
Yeah.
last thing on the NBA before we get on to the main topic. The NBA is rigged.
Well, there's two things we got to say about that. I believe that the NBA is rigged. In terms of the lottery. Set it up. Hey, so this is where I think that it's rigged. So when we talked about this before, we were talking about the Mavs and the Mavs trading Luka. And you know it's funny. I think that with all things considered, the Mavs general manager was very mum about a lot of things that I thought he could have really came back on. So I think that everything was a lot of speculation, but you didn't really hear him reveal a lot of stuff about Luka in terms of why they actually did it. Well, bro, I honestly believe this. What the conspiracy theorist in me tells me, why would you trade Luka? Right? Because you know you got this whole thing about the second apron and everything like that that's coming on up, and Luka would be one of those players who could be like a Shea, where you are eligible to eventually get $80 million a season. And then the whole idea is that, dang, you might be like Boston, where if you got two of those guys, who else going to get the money? Whatever. So I think that what the Mavs did is the Mavs looked at that, and I do think that they probably thought we can't win with Luka. I mentioned that before, but I also believe that they said we gonna trade Luka, and I believe that Adam Silver stepped in, and this is me reading in between the lines, me saying this, it's rigged. I think that Adam Silver wanted to get Luka in a big market, and LA was the destination that made the most sense. And I think that in exchange for them letting Luka go at such a young age in comparison to Anthony Davis, I think that they were all but guaranteed the number one pick to get Cooper Flag. And from there, if you want to keep Cooper Flag, fine. If you want to possibly trade him for Giannis, that's fine. But I think that trading Luka was part of the deal that was behind the scenes for them to get this number one pick, though, bro.
Yeah,
That's
I
me reading
understand.
between the lines. I'm reading in between the lines, bro.
No, I get it. Uh, Especially when you could have simply said you wanted Luca on the market. It got a plethora of stuff, but it went to one place, to one destination. I could definitely see why people would think it's rigged, especially when you got a 1% chance to win it. Because you look at like the Hornets or Utah, that's like that could have changed their franchise to had somebody like Cooper Flag. So
Right.
that's just wild that a team that was just in the play in now has another generational talent that could potentially come there. Now,
Because
go ahead.
with all things considered, the Mavs aren't that far away from being contenders. Like I was telling you, they were closer to winning a championship than the Lakers. So we're not talking about you being a bottom tier team, right? We ain't talking about you the Hornets like that. This is a team that could have been a contender, though, man. So the fact that you jumping all the way, come on, man.
Well, and I mean, and the other thing too is that not only were they contenders, you got to look at the NBA is trying to deter people from tanking. So in a sense, the system worked because this isn't a team that tanked. This is a team who had unfortunate injuries throughout the whole year and ended up getting Cooper Flag. But with that, the other conversation that's been going on is like we just talked about Giannis wanting out. Could Dallas trade Cooper Flag to get Giannis? Would you do it? Like what are we doing?
Okay, so would I do it? I would do it. Okay, so this is the thing. It depends. Do you think that Giannis is a center or is he a power forward?
I think that you can alternate between him and Anthony Davis, switching between the 4 and the 5. I
By
think
the way,
Jason.
for some reason, even though we live right now, I don't show that we are live on Facebook right now, by the way. And I could be tripping, but I don't show it. Actually, it is now. I'm bugging.
Okay.
Anywho, go ahead.
Yeah, you can definitely alternate them between the 4 and the 5. Jason Kidd is the coach to be able to do some stuff like that. They can, because both of them like to be able to play a little bit off the ball and not just so much posting up all the time, but they can do it. The thing is, Dallas is in win mode now, though. So while Cooper Flag could definitely be an impact immediately, he's still not proven in the NBA, and Giannis is. So if you're Nico, though, do you trade away another generational talent though, and take the chance? I mean, at this point, what do you? I don't know. It's a very tough
Who's
situation.
another yeah, I don't know how you do that 2 times though, bro. Now, here's the thing. I also think that if for some reason, right, if you thought I'm in a win now window, and my win now window is 3 years, right? Then I think that trading Cooper Flag, if you thought that Giannis gets us closer. If you say that Giannis gets us in the finals, then I do think that you do it. And the reason why I think that you do it is because, from my perspective, listen, the Boston Celtics, the Nuggets, they're all proof. The Toronto Raptors, they're all proof that it could very well just be one ring. So, do you want to be a one ring team? Where you get the one ring, or do you want to say for the next 7 years, right? That you're a team you're really good, but you don't get the ring. Like it's one ring better than 7, 10 years of one player's prime? And if the answer to that is yes, because to me, at some point, as an executive, the rings are what you're going to be measured off of. I think that that's it, though, man. It's like this. It's like, I look at it like this, though, right? If you're Sam Presti, do you trade Shea to get the number one pick? Because Dallas would do it, right? So do you trade Shea to get Cooper Flag, right? Because then, if you think the Shea is your bridge to get you closer to a championship window, right? That now you are Eastern Conference, I mean, your Western Conference Finals, NBA Finals, right? But then you get Cooper Flag, and you may take a step back. But you also got you a guy who can be your star for the next 10 years, though, right? And so then it's like, is that equal? If you getting one ring with Shea, is that equal to you getting 10 prime years of Cooper Flag, though, bro? And I think that as an executive, at some point, you got to go with the for sure thing. And so if I wouldn't be mad if they got Giannis, thinking that we're in win now mode, though, bro. So
You
yeah.
have to think that way when you're looking at the health of Kyrie, the health of Anthony Davis, the health of your entire team, because your whole team kind of went through a spurt
Well, absolutely.
of injury, and the NBA is not getting any softer, especially the Western Conference. So, all these younger teams are growing up. Look what Houston did this year. You know what I'm saying? Look what OKC is doing. So you have to be in kind of like win now mode, because it's not guaranteed. But at the
Yes.
same
So
time, I wouldn't be upset if they kept Cooper, though, just because that is, at least, if you think that he's going to be that guy, then he should be able to compete at a high level right now in the NBA and keep the longevity of your franchise to bring more prospects when the older guys phase out.
well, that's true. But then here's the thing about it, though, right? Like, this is my measuring stick for Cooper Flag. And maybe listen, this is going to be my measure stick for Cooper Flag, right? Is, do you expect for Cooper Flag to be so? Do you expect for him to be a generational talent, a transcendent talent, or a franchise player? Because to me, those can be all three the same, but they can also be different. And here's the comparison. This is where I would always comp him. The comp to me is, do you expect for Cooper Flag to be as good, if not better, than Paolo Banchero? Right? Paolo Banchero is really good. And if he didn't get injured, he would have made the All-Star team for the second time in 3 years, right? So 3 years into the league, he would have been a two-time All-Star. And I've seen Paolo, and listen, when I see Paolo, I didn't see it at Duke, right? But I know that Paolo just gets it. He's an NBA player. I saw Cooper Flag play against the USA team, and I think he's going to be the same, right? That kind of guy. But do you think he's going to be better than Paolo? And that, to me, is where, if you think he's going to be better than Paolo, and Paolo made the All-Star within 3 years, I think he would have made it twice now. If you are the Mavs, that 3 years could be your window. Like, how much more are you going to get out of Anthony Davis, though, bro?
Yeah.
Like, you might get 3 more good years out of Anthony Davis. So if that's your window, I think that you do go Giannis. And then even for the Giannis, you get Giannis, and let's say Giannis is 30 now. So you go Giannis for a 3-year window. Anthony Davis at some point gets out of there. And then I think then you go Giannis. Giannis's total time with the Mavs would be 6 years. And unfortunately, you would have to start transitioning off of him after that. But if you think that your window is 3 years, I'm not mad at them for going after Giannis, though, bro.
Now, does Cooper Flag have to be better than Luka?
So it depends. It depends. I don't think he has to be better than Luka. And the reason why I don't think that he has to be better than Luka is because in theory, outside of reading between the lines, he wasn't traded for Luka. Right. He was gifted in the trade for Luka. Right. So I think that from my perspective, he doesn't have to be better than Luka. But I think that the reason why is because he plays a different game than Luka, though. Right. I mean, Cooper Flag plays defense, and he is top level, top tier defensive player when I've seen him play. And I've never seen any resemblance of that from Luka whatsoever. So I'm not gonna even compare them two. I will tell you this though, man, that if you accept Giannis, you got to strip it all down. You got to get rid of Dame. You got to get rid of the whole system out there with the Bucks, and you have to go ahead and build it around Cooper Flag from scratch, though, bro. Very much like the Magic did, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Last thing before we jump off the NBA, have you talked to Kaiser, bro?
I have not, and I'm not gonna. Nor am I. And the reason why I'm not gonna even call him. I'm not gonna call him because I didn't call him when they won, and he didn't call me when they won.
Nah,
right. And even that,
hate him.
I want to make sure he was good because he probably tried to go and be in the room with Tatum when they was doing his surgery to make sure they did it right. He wanted to make sure. But no, I didn't go there, bro. And I think that it's funny though. But I purposely have not called him because he hasn't called me bragging about the wins yet, right? And so I'm not gonna call him when they lose though.
Yeah.
But I do want to make sure. Probably after. I do want to ask him, is he all right? Like, do I need to bring him a warm blanket or something, some tea? You know what I'm saying, to comfort him or whatever in his time of need, though, bro.
All right, bro. Let's get off into this main topic. The boy Diddy. I ain't even finna mess with him right now. The trial has begun. Opening statements have begun. Cassie took the stand. And that is like the big topic right now is the things that are coming out in her particular being on the stand, her statements. And there's a lot of details, bro. Which is interesting because he's not actually on trial for the abuse that we saw so horribly played out on the video, but some of those elements are being used to secure the bigger point of his manipulative ways, his the racketeering, the sex trafficking, all of those things that were brought forth, what they're accusing him of. It does help the case because she had a personal relationship with him, and some of the details that she shared have to do with a lot of the things that they are prosecuting him for.
And listen, this is the thing I think that's crazy. At a bare minimum, I thought that this would be very much an opportunity to paint him in this light. Where when we always talk about, well, what somebody do behind their doors in private is neither nor here nor there for me. It makes me know, never mind, right? But I think that then the minute that you find out about those things and those things are no longer private, right? Then you can start to form your opinion because, yeah, that ain't my lifestyle, but still, this is what I think about people who do these kind of things. Listen, bro. So let's talk about that then, the details, right? Because this is the thing I've never understood. Now, the part that's somebody's sex life and what's for them isn't for me, whatever. But when she said that that this man used to have people come over and have sex with her. I'm like, all right, you know what? I could maybe that's one thing because I think that there are some people who might that's this their kink, right? The part that I just that lost me completely is when she said that they said somebody peed in her mouth. Because then at some point you got to kiss her, right? If that's your girl, that's I'm just like, wait a minute though, bro. And I get the manipulation, I get the demoralizing, and even for somebody who was a model, I can understand how that would just kill your confidence altogether. And that would be the reason why when people I was talking to Neek about this.
Mhm.
And she was like, yeah, it really disgusts me when people say, why didn't you just leave? Right? Why didn't you just do this, that, and the other? Like it was just that simple as sliding, all right? And when I think about that though, man, it's like it's no different from somebody who is like just a regular abuser, right? You know people who all day long they all their relationships have been very domestic violence based and they've been going on for years and years and probably never leave though, bro. And for this one to be where it's a domestic, where it's physical altercations, but then also the fact that he has basically taken it that much further and now he basically owns her mind and she's it does the manipulation part is the part that's mind blowing for me to hear another whole grown person basically cry out that yeah I just felt like so manipulated to where I stayed and that's that though bro but it's whatever they were trying to do by having her come on it's working though bro because I just look at she looks like she is very much all victim you know when people would say hey she got the money she was a money bag grab and everything like that like nah bro I'm fully on Cassie's side on this one though bro and I'm not gonna lie I may have seemed like early on when she got a settlement that I'm one of those people where it's like when it comes to the money aspect of it that makes me feel some kind of way
Not to, and this is why I disagreed with that. Sometimes money helps. Like in a situation, right, when you feel like somebody is untouchable because of the power that they have, well, how do you strip away power? You take money. That's a way of pulling power because now you don't have the resources to be able to do the things that you were capable of doing. And she can't get them years back. She has, and now she's having to relive and tell that. Well, now she can set her family up for the abuse that she put up with financially. So I was never really on board with that, but I understand why people immediately go there because there's so many people that manipulate that or abuse that aren't real
facts.
that aren't really affected. Excuse me, but they're still trying to get the money. So I understand why but it goes hand in hand with when people who are really abused are trying to get some sort of closure through it, but then you got people that's trying to just jump on the bandwagon that was
Yeah.
so
And at some point though, man, it's hard for you to tell which one for the other, like who's really it. But I'm like I said, I think that there are sometimes though, man, when somebody, retells a story though, man. And I think that there are certain details. And this is the thing about it though, man. She's only answering what's being asked, right? She's not even there. So you have to think those are the details that they're asking her. There has to be even more that she's not saying, though, bro. And that's the part to me that I think is the most mind blowing part, though, bro. So I don't know, man. This it's one of those things where I'm not gonna say it's hard for some people to say. I feel sorry for somebody who's getting millions of dollars or whatever, or feel sorry for a celebrity. But I honestly, I like genuinely feel terrible for her though, bro.
right.
And this is the thing that
And
gets me the most.
the important
Go ahead,
detail,
go ahead.
she's like 8.5 to 9 months pregnant on the stand.
Listen. So she's going through the hormones. That's some strength in itself though, bro, to get up there. But this is the thing that gets me. The fact that you did that and you got daughters, bro. Like you got daughters. Like it's just that's the part that's mind blowing to me. Like not to say that, oh, would you want that for your kids, but they exempt, like, you understand, like I understand that's what you might like to do or whatever though, right? So that, but you saying that you okay then with somebody doing these same things to your own daughter. Like that's the part that gets me, and that they're young, so they're impressionable and everything, and I know that them hearing this, it's just like it got to be mind blowing that if you've never seen your dad in that light, and when somebody saying, "No, this is what your dad did to me," right? That's they got to be mind blowing for the daughters, though, bro.
Yeah, unreal, unreal. I just want to figure out what Diddy's team is like. How do they plan to combat this? Because it's like you can't just say these was all consenting adults, because there's a power structure there of who you are, what titles you hold in the industry, and the type of power that you have that you can leverage. That's the part that they're going to be looking at. You know what I'm saying? Especially, like I said, the fact why this is such a key witness is because she had a personal relationship with him. So it's like, if you're treating a person that you supposedly in a relationship with like this, then what are you doing to people that just work for you or that you hired or whatever the case may be? So
Man, they said this man had he done flew in a stripper from Vegas to knock down this girl, bro. It's just, dog, listen, bro. I don't like the there are things that I think that when I think of what people do, that I just can't fathom though, bro. And these are probably in the top, immediately goes to the top 5 things where I'm just like, nah, I don't get it. I don't get it, bro.
I ain't even been in a position to have that type of money to be able to fly somebody in for a service. I'm just saying, like, what if it was some cold sushi dude that you knew in Vegas and you just flew him in just to cook you some sushi?
That's different. But I ain't flying somebody in to smash my girl.
I mean, people getting flued out all the time, though.
People are getting flued out all the time, though, bro. But
That's
I'm saying, I would understand if you flew somebody in or you get flued out.
right.
That's different, right? But I'm saying when somebody saying, "Nah, I want to," if you flying some dude out, you done flew some dude out for him to come knock your girl down. It's crazy to me, though, bro. Like it, and it's just the thing about it would be one thing that if they just was like, all right, you know what? You can go ahead and have that or whatever. But the watching aspect of it, nah, bro. I'm like that's the stuff that for me, like, nah, maybe I'm just a different kind of old school cat in that regards, though, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. To each
Yeah,
his own.
but listen, I'm not gonna lie to you though, bro. As disgusting as it is, though, bro, and I hate to just sound like a gossiping dude, but I'm all in for the details, though, bro. I'm reading every single line of all the tea, bro. I'm
That
there
boy
for
said he gonna be
everything
a
of it.
catty patty on this one.
Oh my gosh, man. I am. Listen, I might be able to start reciting the transcript verbatim, though, bro, because I'm all in for it, though, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But I do feel terrible for it, though, bro. Absolutely terrible, though, man.
So just based upon first testimonies, where you siding on? Where's Diddy at on this one, bro? Is he guilty? Is he
Okay,
not?
so
Just based upon this
okay,
testimony.
public opinion, he's done.
Yeah.
But but
I still don't agree with you
and
on that, on public opinion.
public opinion, I think he's done. But I think that I haven't seen nothing legally yet or criminally yet. So I think that it's this first wave. I think that he's just like, all right, I can live with that because again, you can't charge me for being a freak, right? That's where I think that he's going.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting to see what happens next, though, bro.
Okay.
What about you?
One of the things she said, well, I mean, I think based upon if it ended today, I still think he would be guilty. He just wouldn't get as much time because when she said that he had recorded tapes of her doing stuff and she was in fear of those coming out, it's showing the manipulation piece of I have a power dynamic that you better do what I say do. So that's a part of it. But there's no like you said, there's no I mean, I don't know. Maybe when they said you paid this person to come and do this, like
Still, but but again, that's to me, that's saying if that's my sexual lifestyle,
it,
that's my
yeah,
sexual lifestyle. There's nothing criminal about that yet.
there is something criminal about if he flew somebody in to have sex with her, that's prostitution. If I fly you in and pay you for a service,
Well, this guy, this stripper dude said
Mhm.
he didn't get paid.
Okay,
Right. He said he never got paid for it. He
okay,
just we flew out. Yeah.
okay, okay.
And I mean, listen, if you him, you probably thinking like, are you so you mean to tell me you want me to come knock down Cassie in her prime? Cat, not to say
No, no,
that
no.
she
I
never
get
fell
that,
off,
but
but
I'm
listen,
saying if it was a
Pete
paid
Cassie.
gig, then that's where I'm coming from. So if
Yeah,
it was,
but even then, if that's what you say, the crime is that I paid someone to come out and knock my girl down. All
but
right,
here's the thing though. According to the law, though, again, we're only talking the law.
sure.
The law is you can't pay for prostitute, like you can't bring somebody in and pay for prostitution. There's no consensual thing with that. It doesn't, that's just the law. So that's the only thing I'm saying. But I
This is
mean,
this is my thing. Okay, let's just say hypothetical.
okay.
Hypothetically speaking. All right. Let's say I got this homeboy, right? I got a homeboy, and you call my homeboy up. It's like, hey man, my girl thinks you look kind of fly. I'm gonna let you go ahead and come on out. I'll pay for you to come on out here. She want to go ahead and have sex with you, right? I don't see that there's anything criminal about that.
There's not, because you didn't pay him. You paid
Well,
for
even if I gave you even if I gave you 1,500 to come on out here, she just
no,
want to knock down.
can't do it.
That's not. I put this. Maybe. Look, I'm not as astute on the law when it comes to those kind of things. All
I'm
right,
just telling you,
but
it sounds, it's in theory, what you said sounds normal, but unfortunately, that's the problem, because it sounds normal. It's not normal though. Like you said, if I paid for your ticket and you came in and that's what I paid for, like you're coming in town and that's what it's for. Okay, that's the kink. But if I pay you for that, then it's considered prostitution.
eh, I suppose. I mean, like I said, I don't like if that's what the law is. The law is what it is. I'm not gonna disagree with it.
Yeah.
I can understand how the interpretation of that might just seem like it's not as big of what it probably is, though.
And
That's
that's what
all
they
I'm saying.
and that's what they got to argue. Exactly right.
Yes. Yep. No, I get that though, man. I totally get that. So
So,
I don't know.
in other news, other entertainment news, Tory Lanes was stabbed in jail, had to be rushed to
Yeah.
the hospital.
Yeah, they seemed like they was trying to kill that boy, man. Them wasn't just no stabs to teach you a lesson, though, bro.
Because when he
The
did he
amount
get
of
stabbed like 14 times.
yeah. So they stabbed that boy in the head. This boy, they was trying to get him up out of there, man. And so I listen, bro. And I don't know. This is my thing about it, though, bro. I don't know. This can't be like some kind of revenge thing. I'm getting back on behalf of her. I would love to know what would prompt somebody to just want to attack Tory Lanez, though, bro.
I mean, he still is living in there. So the thing is that there's a bunch of turf stuff going on in there. Somebody could be just jealous of his status, of, he's sitting here recording a whole album. You know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of different things as to why people could want to attack him. So, yeah.
I mean, I guess so. I'm not mad at that. I get that's just the thing. I guess the same thing I guess could be said about anybody who gets stabbed. What would make somebody just want to stab somebody up in prison? All right. I mean, I feel terrible though, man, because here's the thing about it. Like, well, now that I'm thinking about it, the more and more and more I'm thinking about it, like, I think that people make it seem like, no, his peoples are basically presenting more and more things I think that could be for appeal. So, for him to go through all of this and then getting stabbed up, though, bro, my God, if he makes it out, if he gets out of jail, listen, bro, if he gets out of jail, and has this story to tell, though, bro. Legendary status, though, bro. You think about that? Ain't that like getting a master's degree? There used to be getting shot or going to jail was like the top of the line things to prove that you were this authentic to gangster rap. And not to say that he's gangster at all, but I'm just sitting here thinking, like, bro, like, man,
Yeah. Now
I don't know, big son.
it's definitely an interesting, thing. Because I mean, honestly, for a while we haven't really heard any more Tory news in link to Meg. It's just kind of been, I mean, outside, what I'm saying is interactions between them, more so him just trying to line up things for the case to move forward for him to present an appeal. But no,
Right.
like back and forth between them two here lately. Meg's been kind of quiet, which I'm happy for. So
On that front,
yeah,
you talk about that. Yeah. Because she's been all over the place here. Like I'm a loyal IG follower, and it's pretty much on all social for her, though, man. And I think that she's oddly enough, though, man. And this is gonna sound crazy, that's coming from a guy, but I think that she has a good social media presence, though, bro. She posts very regularly, has lots of dope pictures, though, man. I think that since then, though, man, she's been thriving, though, bro.
Yeah. What you got the rest of the week, bro?
Man, so I'm back with my shooting more red light. So I just finished up doing a red light, and I actually have one more that I'm doing, and I think I got a couple of cats that's gonna pull on up and do some red lights, though, man. So I'm really trying to I had to park that, man, to kind of do some research and take care of my pops. But now I'm back on my red light, so I still got my setup set on up now, ready to go ahead and do another one, though, man. So I think that for the most part, man, that's it. I'm trying to get back in the lab now, more consistently, though, man, because like I said, with me having to go in and out of town, it just hasn't been. I haven't had that energy like I typically would for the good studio vibes. And so now I'm back on that kind of time now, though, bro. So yeah, pretty hyped about it, though.
Well, good. For me, I'm just trying to get rid of this cough so that I can get back in the lab. I'm very excited. I got stuff that I'm ready to work on, but been dealing with this cough for the last 2 weeks. I am doing everything I'm supposed to do to get rid of it, but just waiting for the voice to heal up, bro.
Yeah.
Other than that, man, we appreciate y'all for joining us, especially in a special time. Join us next week at our normal scheduled time at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time and 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So we appreciate y'all. From ATL to OKC, we are the Slash Brothers, and we'll see you next time.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
Can you dig it, sucker?